Did any of you guys catch what Tom Brady said? He was like, everyone should do football for the one reason that football is hard. And I'm like, my man's never been in customer success.
What's up, lifers, and welcome to the Daily Standup, where we're giving you fresh new customer success ideas every single day. I got my man JP here. JP, do you want to say hi?
JP checking in from Beantown, home of the Celtics.
Oh, 2024 championship. Celtics. Unobstructed path to the championship. And I've got my man Rob here. Rob, do you want to say hi?
What's up, lifers and Jerry Curlers?
And Jerry Curlers, the GCs. And we've got Julien here. Julien, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone.
And I am your host. My name is Dylan Young. Julien, thank you so much for being here. Can you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. So my name is Julien. I'm currently the Chief Customer Officer at Mobilexpense. Mobilexpense is a Belgium company headquartered in Belgium that propose a travel and expense management tool. And we basically are an offering for managing and streamlining corporate expenses. So yeah, long story short, you go on a business trip, you have expenses, and we facilitate your reimbursement to make it as seamless and touchless as possible.
Are you currently in Belgium?
I am, yes, indeed.
How are the waffles this time of year?
They are always good, and to full disclosure, I'm French national, so I had to adapt a bit.
I don't know nothing about French waffles. I only know about the Belgian ones.
French don't do waffles.
We do things that are better than the Belgian, but I give them the waffle, the beer, and the chocolate. They are the top. They are the best.
Even the chocolate. Do French? Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Julien, thank you so much for being here. You know what we do here, aside from talk about pastries and chocolate, we want to know what is on your mind when it comes to customer success. So can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just give a little bit of context because it's closely linked to my experience. Back in the day at Mobilexpense, I was heading the professional services department, and we start reflecting on customer success back in summer last year. And obviously we were jumping into the unknown, basically. And there was two things that really strike me when we start diving in is, first of all, how great and how vibrant the customer community is. It's incredible, and it has been very helpful in our journey. Like, I know that you had Musa on the podcast, and he was actually one of the person I reached out at the beginning of the year. And he was kind enough to carve out a bit of time in his schedule to tell me what he was doing, his journey, and all of those experience and sharing are very helpful. And so I love it. I love it there. And by doing so, I was like, why are those people so passionate? What is it that customer experience, customer success is different from the rest? And I think one of the answer I found is like, in an organization, customer success has a unique position to really deliver something that the other services cannot. So if you take sales, marketing, procurement, whatever, they mostly work for the benefit of their employer. It's business, it's normal. Mm-hmm. Customer success can actually, they have the freedom to look at the success of their customer and make their customer their primary target, their primary goal. And by doing so, you can create really genuine relationship with your customer. You can create something you can really care for and have this really transparent and honest relationship that others have not the freedom to do so. And when you do that, obviously you get passionate because, well, business is still people talking to people, even if there's a lot of AI now, but we're still human talking to each other. Yeah. And as human, we like to be heard, we like to participate, we like to make an impact. And by doing that, we create relationship and you create attachment to your company and your brand. And then you create loyalty. And loyalty is really the holy grail of the subscription business. So when you reach that, then obviously making that happening, you need to have passionate people. And I think that's one of the reasons why this community is so vibrant and why customer success is being more and more successful, are creating what we are missing as a product company and as customer, like creating those relationships that are at the utmost very important.
Well, you sound pretty passionate yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
I am, well,
Julien, it sounds like the CCO title is relatively new. So is that the case in the past few months?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much. To be fair, it was more of a rebranding of the actual position. So we changed a little bit the organization, but we basically doing different with the same people. The interesting things was our KPI before, which were really revenue driven as a professional services department. Suddenly where we were like, okay, where do we go now? Do we go on NPS? Do we go on CSAT? Do we go engagement? How do we transform our mindset instead of looking for our margin and our timeline and our project? How do I look for the customer himself, the satisfaction, the engagement, and all of that?
That's going to have to be a part 2. We're not going to have enough time to go through all that. But I love the idea of passion. I was going to take a cynics approach, and I'm only going to say this because I do think it's funny, even though I don't know if I totally agree. But I wonder if we're also passionate because nobody else cares about us. Does anybody else feel that way? Much maligned. I feel like we've got to fight for our right to be here a lot of times.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's sometimes fairly difficult to highlight the value we have within an organization. So yeah, it's a daily fight. But there is also a way of like making it more obvious for your leadership. Like you can also, as a customer success, you have to be data driven in any case. And being data driven can also tell you, oh, look at how much revenue I saved this year. Look at how much retention I get. Look at how much CS qualified lead I bring to you. So this can help bring the stigma that, well, customer success is a cost center. Is it though? Not all the time.
Rob, I want to give you a chance to jump in here.
Yeah. Did any of you guys catch what Tom Brady said? He was like, everyone should do football, play football. For the one reason that football is hard. And I'm like, my man's never been in customer success.
I think you ought to be careful how you talk about the adopted son of the city you live in.
I know. Well, look, I'm just saying. He's never worked in customer success. I will just say,
so he thinks Tom Brady is his son. He's a Giants fan. He's a Jets fan. So it doesn't apply.
Yeah, no.
Let me just say. I think I've thought long and hard about this, Julien, and I think it's a really great question. I don't think I would be in customer success if I never had this one moment where I found community in customer success. Because I spent the better part of the first half of my life asking myself, what am I going to be when I grow up? Right? Like we all do. But for me, it was like crippling at times. And it wasn't until I remember I had just moved to Austin and I went to this meetup and I finally saw people in this group, this local community, which is strong and tight knit in Austin, where I could look at people and say, I can see myself doing their job in 5 years, in 10 years. And that the power of that community really was a defining moment in my career. And so I appreciate it. And I think that's a big part of what we're trying to do on this podcast too, is we're just building community. Dylan gives me a hard time because I talk about it all the time, but it's such an important topic, and especially in such a new field where it's not even just our companies, our organizations that we're trying to prove our value to, but we're getting yelled at on the phone by angry customers. And there's nothing like being able to just go chop that up with some industry colleagues.
Lifetime value, a Slack channel coming soon, by the way. Rob's going to moderate. JP, I want to give you an opportunity to get in here.
Oh, me? I'll say I'm reminded about something you said, Julien. There's one thing that we can do that these other departments can't do. And I got a reminder about that recently because the temptation is sometimes when you're a customer success manager, you are playing some different roles. Sometimes you're dipping into the support role. Sometimes you're promoting an event that's coming up. Sometimes you are, depending on what you're responsible for, if it's upsells or different things, you take on these different flavors from people. And there's an element of danger to that because sometimes that can violate that very sort of pure relationship that you can have as a customer success manager. And I recently got some feedback that really helped me to dial back in, which was like, even if I'm compensated on these different things, the customer really needs to trust me. Like it was just a reminder of, hey, ultimately I need to build this trusted advisor relationship. I know that I have KPIs. I know that there needs to be data. I know that there's all this stuff. But I think it helped me to come back to this idea and the sort of the sanctity of CS, which is that you really do want to build that relationship where the customer really feels like I am in their corner and not simply just trying to get more money out of them. Even though, well,
JP
Well,
loves money.
Yeah, even it happens. But it's really true what you say, because what we should always look at one thing, our North Star is basically valuing our customer. And if you value your customer, it's like, tell them also, if they are the top tier customer, if they are important for you, tell them they are important, tell them what they can expect, and always close the feedback loop. If they give you a feedback, tell them thank you. Tell them what you do with that feedback. Oh yeah, thank you for that. We will put it on the roadmap in 6 months. We will be using it. Make them part of what you're doing. And I think that's what we are uniquely positioned to do.
I love it, Julien. And that is our time. Thank you so much for bringing this topic. I love the passion. Great. This is our first recording of the day. Let's pull back the curtain a little bit. And that energy is exactly what we needed, Julien. Yes. So thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Yes, email.
Love to have you.
Thank you guys for having me.
I'd love to have you back in the future, but for now, we've got to say goodbye.
Whenever you want. Cheers, guys.
You've been listening to the Daily Standup by Lifetime Value. Please note that the views expressed in these conversations are attributed only to those individuals on this recording and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of their respective employers. For all inquiries, please reach out via email to dylan@lifetimevaluemedia.com. Find us on YouTube @Lifetime Value and find us on the socials @Lifetime Value Media. Until next time.